Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Christy with This Country Girl's Life. This is a new channel, and here we're going to cover murder, mysteries, missing persons, true crime of all kinds, trials, and maybe a little pop culture here and there. A little bit of everything. I just want to let you know that the reason we're called This Country Girl's Life is because I live in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, and I have 9 dogs and chickens, including a house chicken that I rescued. There he is. I don't know if you can hear him or not. So you may hear my house chicken Steve in the background, or any of my 9 dogs may decide to make an appearance. Anyway, let's get into why we're here today. Cara Caudill Cox. She went missing from Oklahoma on her way to California with her boyfriend, truck driver Adam Stapp. Cara is a Native American. She's part of the Muskogee Creek Nation here in Oklahoma, and missing Indigenous women is a big problem in this country, and they don't get a lot of coverage, not like the very similar case of Gabby Petito, who went missing while traveling with her boyfriend. This case is not being covered even here locally in Oklahoma. I don't see it on the news. I don't see it in the papers. I found it first through Gizella on Grizzly True Crime, and then I looked on Facebook and found it in several groups, and I have been talking with Cara's sister Mindy, and most of today's information and all of the pictures that have been provided are from her sister. Everything that I'm going to talk to you about today comes from the family. There have been some updates since the Grizzly True Crime coverage, and that's why we're here today. So let's get into it. Cara is 41 years old. She's a mother of 2 grown sons, and she lives in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. She is 5'5" and weighs approximately 170 pounds. She's beautiful with brown hair, brown eyes. She has an adorable Care Bear tattoo on her right shoulder and a round purple birthmark on her left shoulder blade. I have a picture here that I want to show you of her tattoo. There we go. Little green Care Bear. I think green must have been her favorite color because her car was that color as well. This is something that hasn't been out there. You can kind of see it in some of the pictures on the missing flyers, but there hasn't really been this clear of a picture. I specifically requested this because I feel like it's something that if you see it, it would really be recognizable as, hey, that could be Cara. Even if her hair is cut, if her hair is a different color, you're not gonna be able to change the tattoo. So keep your eye out for this tattoo, and if you see it, let somebody know that, hey, I saw this girl and she had this green Care Bear tattoo on her right shoulder. Maybe look into it. As always, as we say in the true crime community, if you see something, say something. So just please keep that in mind. Let me show you this picture of Cara. There you go. You can really see her face good in this picture. Like I said, she's beautiful. Brown hair, brown eyes, great smile. Very, very happy. Lots of friends and family missing her, wanting her back here in Oklahoma. Her family actually traveled to California to look for her along Interstate 40, which would have been the route that her and Adam took to get to California. They stopped at truck stops, restaurants, rest areas, all along the way, handing out her flyer to try to get the information out there. So they have been looking very hard for her. They came back to Oklahoma to meet with the police. On the way back, they broke down in Texas. And when they got here, they found out little to nothing really from the police, but they've been going through it. They're dealing with a lot right now, not just, her missing, but car issues and normal life stuff. So anyway, let's get a little bit more into the case. As I said, Cara was traveling with her boyfriend Adam Stapp. They were on a run to California, and Cara had accompanied him previously on runs, but one thing that really makes this different is Cara always let her uncle or one of her sons know when she was leaving and when she would be coming back. And this time, nobody was aware that she was going. So that stands out as a little bit of a red flag right there. Her car, a 2000 Honda Civic Del Sol green, of course, was found abandoned at a Love's travel stop in Seminole, Oklahoma. Now, I asked her sister, why would she park her car at the truck stop versus parking it at Adam's house? And I was told that Adam doesn't have a house, that he's living out of his semi full time. And sometimes Adam would pick Kara up at the Walmart in Sand Springs where she lived. But occasionally, Kara would meet him at the truck stop where they found her car because it was just easier for him, I guess, on his route to just swing into the truck stop and pick her up there. So while it's not unusual that her car would be there, it is unusual that she didn't come back to retrieve it. So just a little background there, because I'm sure a lot of you out there had the same question as me, like, why would she just leave her car at a random truck stop? So no one knows for sure what day she left. We are assuming it could have been May 13th or May 14th, because on May 15th, we know for sure she was in Arizona because she called somebody. And after May 15th, there was no more communication from Kara, no phone calls, no texts, no attempt to reach out to anyone in any manner. Her social media hasn't been used. Like I said, no phone calls, no texts. Any communication going to Kara has not been responded to. So the 15th is the last day that we have facts that Kara was okay and she was in Arizona. Kara went on runs with Adam before. As I said, she normally let somebody know where she was going, but this time not letting anyone know where she was going kind of leads her sister to believe that maybe this was a last minute decision. And then maybe they left, later in the evening and she just didn't let anybody know. Maybe she was just going to let them know the next day or whatever. But normally she planned these things out ahead of time and everybody knew, like, we're leaving this day, we're coming back this day, and this time there was none of that. So you have to forgive me if I keep looking away because I have notes because I don't want to miss anything. Let's see. That. Okay, some more of the red flags in this case, and there are a few, so get ready. Adam returned to Oklahoma with all of Kara's belongings, but without Kara. Now, when her family realized that Kara was missing, Adam actually helped her sister look for her for 3 days. Three days in Oklahoma, before he admitted that Kara had actually been in the truck with him. And then he starts spinning these stories that make absolutely no sense. Adam, after looking for Kara for 3 days in Oklahoma with her sister, first story, he said he left Kara at a rest stop near a casino in Arizona. 2 days later, he changed his story and said that he had left her at Essex in California at a rest stop. All of this was said after the 3 days of looking in Oklahoma. Now, why would you put her sister through looking for her in Oklahoma if you had actually left her somewhere else? It makes no sense, Adam. Okay, one of Adam's stories was that Kara got out at the rest stop and was hiding from him. Another story was that she went into the bathroom and never came out. So my question on that is, she went in the bathroom and she never came out. Did you have somebody go in and check on her, make sure she was okay? Maybe she was sick, maybe she fell, maybe she passed out. I don't know, it was hot, whatever. No, you just left. She went to the bathroom, she didn't come out, and you left. Okay, maybe that makes sense to somebody, but it doesn't make sense to me. In another story, he claims that Kara left on her own accord with her backpack. But remember, Adam came back to Oklahoma with all of her stuff. All of it. So how does that even make sense? It doesn't. Because she didn't leave. She didn't leave with her backpack. After he admitted that Kara had been with him and he had all of her stuff, he turned all of her belongings over to the Seminole Police Department, where he was questioned and released. One thing that was not turned over was Kara's cell phone. We don't know where Kara's cell phone is. We just know that she's not using it. As a matter of fact, her sister, knowing that if Kara's out there alone, she's going to need money to survive. So her sister CashApped her money, her savings account, basically, and it was never accepted by Kara. So Kara either doesn't have access to her phone, she doesn't have access to the internet, whatever. She's not using any of her apps or social media, texting, calling, anything. She's made no attempt to contact anyone. The family hired a private investigator who works with Hunt Investigative Services here in Oklahoma. The FBI, this is an update. The FBI have actually picked up the case now. On Tuesday of last week, I believe they picked it up. They are working on leads, but since this is an active investigation, there's evidence that cannot be released at this time. There are some things that I've discussed with the sister that I'm not going to cover here yet, because I feel like I just don't want to take a chance on compromising anything in the investigation. There's also things that the sister knows that she hasn't even shared with me, because the FBI has requested that she keep it close to the vest. So the FBI is working on it now, most likely because this has crossed state lines. So hopefully with them bringing all of their resources to the party, that's going to help us find Kara sooner. Oh, one thing I want to make perfectly clear. The family has not set up a GoFundMe account at all. If you see a GoFundMe account and it's to help find Cara Caudill, Cara Cox, whatever, it is not from the family. The money will not be going to the family, and it will not be used in the search for Cara. They have not set one up. You guys need to know this, because there's people out there that will set up fraudulent accounts in situations like this to try to take advantage of other people's tragedies, and it's really sad. As a matter of fact, Kara's family's already been dealing with fake ransom demands. They don't need this. They're dealing with enough. Like I said, their car broke down on their way back from California. They broke down in the middle of nowhere, Texas. You know, they hired a private investigator. They're doing everything they can to find Kara. They don't need any outside interference. And speaking of interference, Adam has been attacking Kara's sister online. Every time her sister posts about her missing sister, he gets on there in the comments and he calls her a liar, and he's, you know, I'll take a lie detector test, I'll do this, I'll do that, and he argues with, you know, other commenters, basically trying to make it sound like something happened between Kara and her sister and that's why she left. And it's just, like I said, the family doesn't need this now. They're dealing with enough. Their person is out there somewhere in the world and they don't know where. So if you don't have anything valuable to add to this investigation, just don't. Just don't. Just let them be. If you're not going to be helpful, just stay out of it. Let me see. One thing Kara's sister said was that Kara was a very codependent person, that it's not likely that she would take off on her own. Like, Kara liked to be around people, people she knew, people she could count on. So, you know, it's not likely that she's just gonna take off with nothing, with none of her belongings, in a place that she's not familiar with, that she doesn't have friends, that she doesn't have family. It's just not something Kara would do. It's completely out of character for her. And one thing that I'd like to say here, I know Gisela brings it up all the time, hashtag trust the family. In this case, I'm going to trust the family, that, you know, they know their person best. They know Kara best, and they know her personality, and this is completely out of character for her. So it's very unlikely that she would have took off on her own. And if she was out there, I believe she's trying to get home to Oklahoma, to get back to her friends, her family, her kids, her life. So she could be on foot, she could be hitchhiking, she could literally be anywhere at this point. So one thing that I would like to ask is, if you're traveling, and it's summer, so I know a lot of us are going to be traveling, taking road trips, what have you. If you are, why don't you just, like, go ahead and print out a few of these missing person flyers and take them with you. And if you stop at a rest area or a truck stop, a restaurant, anything, if you can leave one, pin it up somewhere, just to get her out there, to get her face out there, to get her story out there, get her name out there, because like I said, it's not getting covered. There's a few people that have covered it on YouTube that I've seen, but nationally, nothing, and even locally, nothing. And I don't have the answer. I'm covering it because even though I don't look like it, I'm a Cherokee Indian, and MMIP, missing and murdered Indigenous people, is a thing. It's a big thing. There are so many missing and murdered Native Americans that their cases are not solved. And a lot of that is just they don't get the coverage. And living in a state that has so many Indian tribes in it, it's very disappointing that this isn't getting more coverage. So that's why I'm here. I'm going to give it the coverage. And if there are any updates in this case, if there's any searches planned, I'm going to come back and tell you about it. We're not going to quit covering it. We're going to do everything we can to keep her name out there, to keep her pictures out there, and keep her story out there, because it needs to be told. Her case isn't any less important than the Gabby Petitos and Dylan Rounds of the world, and I take those cases very seriously. I was very invested in Gabby, and I'm very invested in Dylan, and at some point I will probably cover that on this channel. But right now I want to focus on something that's not being covered by everybody else, that maybe should be. And I'm hoping that by you watching and maybe liking this video, sharing this video on Twitter, Facebook, whatever social media you have, we can get Cara's story out there. We can get it heard. We can get her face out there, and more eyes on the case make it more likely that we can bring Cara home. The true crime community is a great community. They work so well together. I mean, take Gabby Petito, for example. Social media was huge in solving that case. Huge. And I'm hoping that as a true crime community, we can come together like that for Cara. All it takes is see something, say something. If you see anybody that resembles Cara, that has that tattoo, has that birthmark, if you know anything, if Adam said anything to you, call it in. And I will give you the numbers that you can call. One is on the poster. That number is to the private investigator at Hunt Investigative Services. All the information that's called in will be kept confidential. This isn't going to the police. So anybody that's out there that's worried about contacting the authorities, you can call this number and it's going to be kept confidential. That phone number is 405-259-7474. 405-259-7474. Cara's sister has given me her phone number. If you feel more comfortable calling her with any tips, sightings, knowledge, her number is 405-221-6183. 405-221-6183. Now, don't bother her with silly questions or nonsense. If you know something about her sister, where she might be, somewhere that you might have seen her prior to today, call her with that, but not with nonsense. They don't need that. They actually, what they told me they need are your prayers. Prayer for them and prayer for their sister Cara. They need the prayers to bring her home, bring her back to Oklahoma. I will continue to follow the case. Like I said, if there's any updates, if there's any searches planned, I will let you know how you can get involved, and we will also go be involved in those searches. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep her name out there. I'm going to keep this case out there until we bring Cara home. And I feel like together we can do that. We, as a community, all of us can bring Cara home. So once again, I want to thank you for stopping by my brand new channel. And I hope that you will like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more updates, more cases, more information. Hit the bell so you'll get notified for all my videos, and share Cara's story. I'm going to show you a few more pictures of Cara just so you can get an idea of this woman, this amazing woman. Look at her. Here's another one. I love this one. She's with Smokey the Bear. Look. Here she is with her little niece. And you can see the tattoo again a little bit in this picture. You can't really tell what it is, but you can see the location of it. So that could be helpful as well. So keep that in mind. Here's one with her nephew. I covered his face because he's just a little guy. Another one of her nephew. These people need Cara home. They need their sister. They need their aunt. They need their mom. Let me just throw her tattoo up here one more time for you. There it is. Like I said, take a good look at that tattoo, screenshot it, whatever you need to do. I feel like that's a really good identifier for her. So let's keep an eye out for that. And once again, here's her flyer. Like I said, print them out, pass them out, wherever you're at. She could be anywhere. She could be anywhere. She might not even be along I-40 anymore. So anywhere you travel, just put them out there. Just put them out there. But like I said, the best thing we can do right now is to keep her story out there. And a completely free way to do that is to share my video. If you want to support my channel, there are links in my description that will take you to my Cash App, my PayPal, my Venmo. We're going to be trying to help the family as much as possible. So any support is greatly appreciated, and just you being here is greatly appreciated. So thanks, and I hope you'll come back, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.